daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Listen to Road to the World Cup 26 podcast, part of the Global Sports Podcast Network. A very good day to you wherever you are listening in the world. My name is Nick Britton. I am joined on this podcast, as I am always joined on this podcast, a man who is to football what Scott McTominay is to overhead kicks. It's Mr. Ken Davis. How are you, Kenny?
I'm very well, thank you. It's Saturday morning. I've been practicing my overhead kicks. That was a goal, wasn't it? That was actually a goal.
Is that why you're doing this podcast lying on the floor with you?
I am. I'm in traction.
Mate, I would love to see you do and even try an overhead kick.
Absolutely no chance. The best chance of that, just throw the ball in the end, push me down the stairs. That's about as close as it's going to get.
Well, I could be tempted to do that. Never mind throwing the ball. Let's go straight to the second bit. It's been a really exciting week in terms of qualification for the World Cup because the UEFA leg of it all has come to an end. So we now know all the teams who are going through automatically from Europe.
Very exciting.
Also know not only who is in the playoffs, but who's going to play who again in the playoffs. So there are a couple of big teams in the playoffs. And before you say it,
Wales.
Wales don't. Potential banana skin here or there. So we're going to go through all of that. And then we're going to have a look at one of the teams that qualified a few weeks ago, and that is South Africa, and assess their chances. So lots to go through in today's podcast. So let's get on with it in terms of looking at what's been happening this week in the World Cup news. So congratulations this week. Joining their UEFA colleagues in qualification are Spain, Austria, Belgium, Switzerland, and Scotland.
Who saw that coming?
Ordinary game against Denmark. We'll come to that. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. So they join the already qualified Croatia, England, France, Germany, Netherlands, Norway, Portugal. So that's 12 teams there who have qualified from Europe. And I don't think there's any great surprises in there. The big ones are all through quite comfortably. Ken, I don't think anybody's going to be too shocked when they see that list, that lineup, are they? Apart from perhaps Scotland, the outsiders.
There's a couple of interesting ones. I think, firstly, it's great because it gives us, I think, our next 15 episodes. Switzerland. Switzerland always punch above their weight, don't they, given the size of the country? But consistently. In Austria, I remember the days of Hans Krankel in 1978 very fondly. Remember the famous, we talked about it before, the famous game with Germany, or West Germany as it was at the time, that I can't remember the team that they eliminated because they fought out this really boring draw. But it was a 1-0 victory for West Germany, I think it was. But anyway, it was. It's great to see it all concluded. It's concluded quite quickly, actually, because they did start late.
They started very late, and it feels like it's gone really quickly for some of the teams, like Spain, some of the teams that were involved in the Nations League earlier this year. They've had to play games in a short space of time. So that's fine. So they're all going to be there at the World Cup. The playoffs have also been decided in terms of who's playing who. So just by way of how this works, there are 4 slots still up for grabs.
What I want you to do, Nick, I want you to pick the winner of all 4 slots of each of the groups as you go down it.
Okay, no problem. So it's 4 slots, and thus there are what's called 4 pathways: pathway A, B, C, and D. And there's 4 teams in each of those pathways, and the winner of the A, B, C, D pathway gets a slot at the World Cup. And essentially, they've been drawn. They play one game, so names out of a hat. Team A plays Team C, and Team B plays Team D, and the winner of those plays a final, and they go through. If that makes sense.
Yep.
So, pathway A is Italy versus Northern Ireland and Wales versus Bosnia and Herzegovina.
So who's winning the final of those 4, do you reckon?
I think it'll be Italy. I think Italy are the strongest team. I think
I'd like to kind of look with Italy. Is always good fun.
Yeah.
I like watching Italy play. So even though Wales are in that pot, I suppose Italy will get through.
That'll sort of mean the end of Northern Ireland and Wales's hopes this time around.
Yeah, sad, but I think if we're looking in you're looking in your crystal ball, mate. I think it's Italy, isn't it, on that one?
Yeah, and I think Italy will look at that. When you look at some of the other groups, they'll look at that and think they've got away with one here, because that's a very, very favourable path. When you look at the others, path B is a lot tougher to call, because you've got Ukraine versus Sweden in the first game and Poland versus Albania in the second game. And I'm not sure, because Sweden's
Sweden
qualifying
be terrible.
absolutely wretched, but they've got a place in this playoff. They didn't win a single game during qualifying, but they've got a place here because of their Nations League performances previously. But they have got a good side on paper. They've got.
I think Sweden are going through.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what? I just think I thought that when I looked at this, I just thought, a sneaky feeling they're going to come to the party, albeit a bit late. They're going to come to the party here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think so. I think Sweden for that one. Path C is Turkey versus Romania, and Slovakia versus Kosovo.
Turkey.
I think Turkey as well, and I'd like to see Turkey.
It's nearly Christmas as well.
I like their kit. That's the reason I quite like to see Turkey.
Yeah.
So
the reason we're picking Turkey is because we like their kit, and it's quite near Christmas. It's not exactly. It's not winning the Pulitzer prizes, is it?
Well, it will be if they get through. Because everyone goes, "You're geniuses." We've just been looking at all these stats and data and all this kind of stuff, and we realise we've been wrong all along. Doing this the wrong way. And then pathway D is Denmark versus North Macedonia, and Czech Republic versus the Republic of Ireland. That's a tough one.
My gut feels Czech Republic.
Yeah, Denmark were the best in the shootout this week between Denmark and Scotland, and the winner went through. Denmark were probably the better side. Even with 10 men, they were the better side for quite long periods of the game. We're going to come on to Scotland in just a second, because it's worth just mentioning them. So they're going to go in. They should go into it with confidence, but they might go into it on a bit of a downer. Czech Republic are always a good side. Republic of Ireland have up quite a lot and are doing well. It's a really hard one to call this.
It's very even group. If I had a gun to my head, though, I had to pick one for that. I think it's Czech Republic.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go Denmark on that one.
Okay.
For no reason other than I don't know. You can that. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a piece of paper width between all them teams, I think.
So those games are taking place in March, and as I say, the winners of those path A, B, C, D get into the World Cup. Congratulations to whoever that is. That'll be a good round of playoffs there. In the meantime, running alongside of that, we now know who's going to play in the sort of the big FIFA Inter-Confederation playoff, which we've had teams sort of drop in there from various parts of the qualifying campaigns. And there's one team from each of these regions. And they are Bolivia, Congo, DR, who represent Africa. Bolivia obviously coming from South America. Congo, DR, who represent Africa. Iraq, who represent Asia. Jamaica, from CONCACAF region. New Caledonia. Remember, it seems a long time since we talked about them, isn't it? From Oceania. And Suriname from whichever one I've missed out.
Suriname are from... I thought they were CONCACAF.
Yeah, I thought they were as well. Maybe two go through from CONCACAF. I think maybe two do, actually.
Two go through from FIFA.
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah, that's. I thought they were. I was looking at that list, thinking about Jamaica already through. I see Jamaica's failure to make the World Cup directly has cost Steve McLaren his job. He left Jamaica.
Really?
Yeah.
After learning the language and everything.
Exactly that. Even though they are still in with a shot of going to the USA, Canada, he left them this week. So, and then finally, we're getting there. Finally, in the CONCACAF region, Curacao, Haiti, and Panama have all booked their ticket. They'll all be at the World Cup next year.
Curacao are a dark horse. I'm telling you, they have had a fantastic qualification campaign.
And when you say dark horse to do what exactly?
Well, they've done well to get there, and I am very much looking forward to doing the Curacao episode, because I know nothing about it apart from is it blue? There's a drink, isn't there? I think
there is a drink called Curacao. Yes,
but they've had a great qualification. I've been keeping my eye on them from day one. They've they've been the best, by far the best team, better than Jamaica.
Okay. Who do you fancy out of the Inter-Federation playoffs then? I think we're all rooting for New Caledonia, aren't we?
Oh, I'd love to see that. I think me and you've got a better chance, to be honest. Run me through the riders again.
So Bolivia, Congo DR, Iraq, Jamaica, New Caledonia, and Suriname.
Bolivia.
Yeah. Do you reckon?
Yeah. Yes. I just think it's the strongest competition they play in. I mean,
it is. I totally agree with that. It is the CONMEBOL qualifying was the strongest qualifying.
It's insane. It's almost like the World Cup in its own right. CONMEBOL.
No, you're right. You're right. Okay, so folks, we're there and thereabouts. Really, we're as far as we're going to get now until March in terms of knowing who's going to be in the World Cup next year.
Must be about 38, maybe 40 of the 48 qualified now.
Can't be far away, can we?
Got to be something like that. I'm going to have to draw the whole list up now and just work out exactly where we're going. We're going to go all over the place in the course of the next 12 weeks.
There's a bit of research to be had. So that's all of that. And today we're focusing on a country, obviously, that's already qualified, and we are going to one of the many lands of safari down in the steep African continent, and that is South Africa.
Lovely.
Carries on like that for a bit.
Love it.
Do you?
Love that. Stirs the soul, doesn't it?
Do you think?
It does for me. It's kind of. I think that's. It's quite dark, isn't it? In the sense of it's quite. It's quite. It's not a joyful. It's like a hymn, actually.
Yeah.
I really like it. I think it kind of. It does build up, by the way. I think it's a soul stirrer.
Okay, very good. Where's that coming in the World Cup of National Anthems?
Quite high, top 10, definitely top 10 so far. Probably maybe in top 5. That.
Blimey. I didn't expect you to say that. I did not expect you to say that. Right, okay, Ken. South Africa and the World Cup. Of course, they hosted it, 2010. What is their record at World Cups?
Interesting. First match South Africa ever played, 1906. I mean, think about that. It's just after the Boer War, actually. Very, very long time ago. But of course, they weren't involved in the World Cup qualifications for a very, very long time. Firstly, because they weren't a member of FIFA until 1962, so they couldn't. And then pretty much immediately, they were effectively banned until 1992 because of the apartheid system. So they only really returned to the world stage, or even emerged on the world stage, probably even fairer to say, in 1992. They just, either because they weren't in FIFA or they were banned because of apartheid, they never featured at all until then. So it's really a story since the early 1990s. It's quite an interesting one since then, though. So they've previously qualified on 3 occasions. France, 1998, where they were drawn in a group with France, the host nation, obviously, Denmark and Saudi Arabia. They lost 3-0 to France in the opening game, but then drew 1-1 with Denmark and Saudi Arabia, failed to progress, but a creditable performance. They drew 2 out of the 3. In fact, the story of South Africa in the World Cups, or South Africa in the World Cups, is that very close to getting through into the knockout stages on every occasion. Second one was in Korea, Japan in 2002, where they were drawn with Spain, Paraguay, and Slovenia. They lost 3-2 to Spain. They drew 2-2 with Paraguay, and they beat Slovenia 1-0. And they only failed to progress because of the number of goals they scored, which is 1 less than Paraguay. And then most recently, as hosts in the 2010, they were drawn with Uruguay, Mexico, and France. Not the easiest group ever. Lost 3-0 to Uruguay, drew 1-1 with Mexico, beat France 2-1, by the way. But again, failed to advance on the basis of goal difference. So whilst they've never qualified, never got through to the knockout stages, It's been very, very close. And they could very easily have got through to knockout stages in both of those occasions. And of course, now we're talking about an easier qualification process with 48 teams. The form over the last 10 games has been pretty good. They've won 6, drawn 3, and they've lost 1. The only defeat was 3-0 to Lesotho back in March. But when you look at the victories, these 6 victories, and who they're against, it kind of tells you a lot. So they beat South Sudan, Benin, Mozambique, Lesotho, Rwanda, and Zambia. It's not the greatest array of footballing talent. The fact of the matter is, against pretty poor opposition, they don't really dominate. So that, but they don't concede many. They've only conceded 5 in the last 10 games. In fact, in 7 of them 10 games, they haven't conceded at all. Their ranking. Guess their ranking. What's the ranking?
I think it's
you love ranking.
It's a little bit of doubt every week, mate. Oh goodness me, they'll be pretty low down, I think. But they were, I don't know, 92.
Wow, that would be low if you're qualifying for a 48 team
Yeah,
World Cup.
yeah. I'll revise that. 44.
That would be high if you're right. No, it's 61st.
Oh, in the middle.
But I think that is definitely one of the lowest teams that are qualified for the competition. Very interesting story on ranking though, because obviously when they only came into the ranking system in 1992, at 124th was their first ranking. They got up in 3 years to what place when you start in 124th?
27.
16th.
Really? That high? Just because they played loads of games and got amassed loads of points. I mean, the ranking system is kind of slightly. You have to have a system in place, don't you? Obviously, but it is slightly skewed because you can just play a load of really poor teams, win games, and get points and move up the rankings. But it's not really a true reflection of where you are on the global stage.
No, we should really devote one complete episode to ranking. Unfortunately, they were unable to.
You nearly finished that sentence without laughing. You nearly did it.
So this is just a running joke, isn't it? But anyway, they were unable to maintain their 16th place, and the trend has been generally downwards from there. So they find themselves now in 61st, but their average rank over the course of the last 15 years, so it's about 55th. So they've definitely done well to qualify for a 48-team competition, but I think the ranking is not far off what their true position is.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, okay, and that's fair. I think when people think of South Africa, they think of World Cup, 2010, and they probably remember them for that team that kind of burst onto the world stage a little bit and got that high ranking. But yeah, they've slipped back there. When I was looking down the list of players, and there aren't really any players that you're going to recognise that much. I don't think. I'm going to pick out 3 players, but just before I do, Ken, maybe a word from our esteemed sponsor.
Yeah, because as we know, as Hugo Bruce knows, Bruce, Belgian bloke, it pays to get your team selection right. And here at Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery partner. We chose Zencastr. Zencastr makes it easy to bring your vision to life, share it with your audience, wherever they may be. It's got a 4K video recording. It's got very easy AI editing tools and top-tier distribution tools all in one place. If you've got a story to tell, go and tell it with Zencastr. Check the show notes for more details. Turn your mic on, Nick. Turn your mic on.
Ruined it right in there. That was such a good intro as well. We're going to have a look at 3 key players from South Africa who I expect to see at the World Cup next year, and you will expect to see at the World Cup. And you know what? When you chat around the water cooler this time, well, in a few months' time now, it's catching up.
Does water cooler play for them?
Yeah, water cooler. Centre half, yeah. When you're chatting around a water cooler or the coffee machine or around a pint over a pub and somebody brings up, oh yeah, South Africa are playing tomorrow. Go, I don't know anything about them. You can go, actually, I know a fair deal about them. And there's three players that I think might do pretty well for them.
You can't buy that kind of knowledge, can? Well, you can probably. We don't even have to pay for it. You get it free for it. Yeah.
So we don't charge anything, so yeah, you can get it for free. So we'll and everybody goes, and everybody will go, right. Everybody will go, oh yeah, ha ha ha, as if, right. Go on then, smart Alec, tell me who the goalkeeper is. And then you go, well, the goalkeeper is Ronwen Williams, who's 33 years old, and he plays for the Premier League, South African Premier League, I should say, Mamelodi Sundowns, and he's also the captain of the South African national team. Yeah,
yes, played a lot of football for him.
Yeah, he's a good player. He was ranked 9th best goalkeeper in the world in the 2024 Ballon d'Or. He actually started in England. He was a youth player at Tottenham Hotspur, when he was young, but he spent nearly all his career at the Sundowns, making 278 appearances. Made his South African debut in 2014. He's got 52 caps. He's their regular keeper and their captain. Then we're going to move on up the pitch to defensive.
He sounds suspiciously Welsh, by the way.
What, Ronwen Williams?
It does sound suspiciously Welsh. I think he's sneaked in there.
It doesn't look particularly Welsh.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't walk around with a leak on his head or a dagger sticking out of his collar.
Okay. Sorry, I interjected.
That's all right. Teboho Mokoena is my next pick. He's a defensive midfielder, listed as one of the most valuable players in the South African League. Well known for his long-range shooting and his ability to connect the defence and attack in games. Look, I'm not going to lie. I just literally took that off Wikipedia because I couldn't find anything about him. And I looked, and I couldn't really find out what kind of player he is. But he's got 50 caps, he's got 6 goals, and he's always in the team.
Yeah, defensive midfielder.
Always in the team. So thanks Wikipedia for that. That's about all I can find out about him. And then we're going to move up to a top of the pitch then, and striker evidence Mac Goba, who's 25 years old. He plays for, again, in the South African Premier League, Orlando Pirates. Doesn't sound like it should be in the South African Premier League. Sounds like it should be in the MLS. MLS, I always get that wrong. He's come through the ranks, so he's played for the 23s. He's played in the Olympics, made the move up, and he's got 21 caps and 5 goals. There was a bit of controversy involving him actually earlier this year, where he played for South Africa in a game against Lesotho in qualifying, despite being banned. He was suspended, and FIFA ruled South Africa had breached the rules and imposed a 3-0 forfeit on them.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway. Really?
Well, that's interesting because that 3-0 forfeit is the only game that they lost. I didn't realise it was a forfeit until that moment.
There you go.
So maybe they're better than we think.
Joining the dots, my friend. Yeah, joining the dots. So there we go. Williams, Mokoena, and Makoba are 3 players that I think will feature pretty heavily for South Africa next year. Please expect to see them, and now you can go and tell all your mates about them.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
I might have jumped in with a little bit early with that, Kenny, actually, because I'm about to bounce back to you to tell us what formation they play, and then I was going
to add a little bit that you can when you're around the water cooler with these phantom friends that you don't have, and you can pretend that you've got friends around talking about the South African football team. You can also mention that they've got a very consistent formation, which is 4-2-3-1. They play 4-2-3-1 every single game. And 4-2-3-1 seems to be the standard formation these days. I was having a look through all the, what's this, episode 29 or something like that? 36.
36, my friend.
36, of which certainly 30, I think, have been, well, certainly maybe 28 have been devoted to teams. 4-2-3-1, I reckon, comes up as a standard formation at least 50% of the time these days.
Yeah, it's fun.
And as Nick mentioned, Ronwen Williams at the back, Mpakazi, Ndavisa, Kabini, Ngazana. Of course, you can forget Ngazana as the back 4. Defensive midfielders, Mokoena and Aubas. the attacking midfield tends to be Apollos, Mboué, and Nkota. And up front, you're right, it was Innocence, what's his name?
Evidence.
Evidence. I knew it was something judicial. I just couldn't remember the first. But Lyle Foster plays up front quite often as well. So that's another name just to throw into the mix.
Very good. Right. I did say at the top of the show, I wanted to just talk very briefly about the Scotland game in midweek, only because it was such an extraordinary game. There wasn't a huge amount of there's a little bit of jeopardy going into this last round of qualifiers in UEFA, but none more than the Denmark-Scotland game, because essentially whoever won qualified. It was just a qualifying shootout.
And essentially, Scotland had done well to get to that point, because didn't they win the game before that in order to, if you like, to get into that position?
They have done well. I mean, they lost to Greece just before, which kind of was a bit daunting. But they went into it knowing that a draw was no good, a defeat was no good. They had to win the game to qualify. And it was a really, I mean, look, technically it wasn't a great game of football, but in terms of excitement-wise, it was a very, very exciting game of football. And the extraordinary thing about it is there are three sort of potential goal of the seasons for Scotland in one game. Well, not in one game, it's about an hour. So the first one was an overhead kick by McTominay, which kind of got the goal scoring underway. Then Denmark equalised, and then Scotland scored a ridiculous goal where it was a corner, and the whole of the Denmark defence just missed it, including the goalkeeper. And Lawrence Shankland has just stood literally on the goal line and tapped it in from a corner. I mean, that should never be allowed. And if Denmark are wondering why they're not at the World Cup right now and planning their flights and are instead looking at the playoffs, well, that goal particularly, that's just some rank bad defending.
The other two goals were somewhat, I wouldn't say fluky, but they were. Both of those may very easily not have gone in. Both of the other goals, or certainly two of the goals.
Well, I think that's a bit unfair, because it was 2-2. I mean, Scotland went 2-1 up quite late in the game, and you're just thinking, right, okay, it's about 10 minutes to go here. Just see it out. And within about 2 minutes of letting a goal again, just through poor defending. Poor Jeremy Dogu, the Man United player, scored. And he's in and around sort of 8 yards out, 7 or 8 yards out. And he's just nobody really closing him down or standing near him to prevent him from shooting. It's just poor defending. Anyway, it looked like it was going to be a classic Scotland. Had their opportunity, were winning the game twice, have blown it, and it's playoffs for them. And then suddenly, into injury time we go. And I'll tell you what it reminded me, Ken. It massively reminded me of the Bobby Zamora goal for QPR against Derby in the playoffs years ago, where the ball comes across. And
there's no one else in the world that no one else was saying, well, that just reminds me of the Zamora goal against Richard Keogh in Derby in 1904 or wherever it was.
Well, playing the role of Richard Keogh was a Denmark defender who had the perfect opportunity to clear it and just kind of waved his leg at it, just messed it up completely. And it fell perfectly into the path of Kieran Tierney, who from just outside the area just bent it in with his left foot.
Great goal.
I can't quite decide whether it took a little nick in or not from one of the defenders. But it was a great hit nonetheless. Then, of course, it's pandemonium because there's about 6 minutes left still of injury. Maybe less, actually. Maybe about 4 or 5 minutes left of injury time. And Scotland are just kind of panicking a little bit, and Denmark aren't really throwing the kitchen sink at them. And then this sort of extraordinary thing happens right at the end, in the very, very last kick of the game, because the referee didn't even start the game again, whereby Denmark have the ball. And there's whistles and howls for the final whistle echoing around Hampden Park. And I'm watching them, and all they're doing is passing it. Instead of slinging it in the box, which is what you've got to do, they're sort of passing from left to midfield to right, back into midfield.
Looking for a gap that's never going to appear.
And the referee's just going to blow it any time. Just put it in the box. Put it in the box. Anyway, they then lose possession in midfield. And Kenny McLean picks the ball up, finds a bit of space halfway out, and just smacks it over Schmeichel's head into the goal. And it's 4-2, and the referee blows up, and that's the end of the game. It was fantastic.
What a way to finish the game. It was a classic. Scotland, I think, at the World Cup, will deliver classics. They just always do, don't they?
An entertaining team to watch, and they're brilliant fans. And I'm really, really pleased. I'm so pleased for Scotland, and many congratulations to Steve Clarke and the team, because it's the first time since 1998 they've qualified. I remember.
Yeah, Steve Clarke's had a bit of he's had a bit of hammer because they've not had a great couple of years. But to be honest, that's a fantastic achievement. They will. I mean, it's a weird thing. They hate the England team. Can you imagine if we're drawn together? But obviously, we kind of like it when Scotland go. It's
I love
like
it.
a big brother, little brother relationship, isn't it?
I lived in Scotland for a long time. I worked there, and I think it's a magnificent country. I love it, and so I always want them to do well.
Yeah, we all want them to do well. I did see a funny thing on the Twitter, which said someone from Scotland saying, why is it that when we go to the World Cup, we'll be drawn against Germany, Mexico, and Italy, and England will get drawn against Lesotho, New Caledonia, and I don't know, Brunei, and saying, why is it England always get the crap teams and we never do? And to which the response was, because you're the crap team.
And that's
kind of how it works, isn't it?
That works, yeah. That's what seeding is. That's what happens.
Yeah.
But it's a fair comment and a very fair response. So yeah, very, very good. Right, everybody's favourite time of the week, people. It means it's time for Kenny's quiz. It can only mean it's time for Kenny's quiz. Now, a pretty dismal performance last week, mate. I need you back on a horse for this one. Back on. 3 questions, all about South Africa. Here we go.
Okay.
Two oceans join at the southern point of South Africa. What are they? What are the 2 oceans that join together at the southern part of South Africa?
I'd go for
shout it out. See how we get on.
Atlantic and Indian.
The Atlantic and Indian are exactly the right answer, my friend. Exactly the right answer. I was looking for my little clapping button, but it's not loaded up. Exactly that. Congratulations. 1 out of 1. Ooh.
It's a great start.
That pipe's tasting a little bit better.
Oh, I'm giving it an extra suck now.
How many? Can we get any chance we can get through any of these podcasts without some puerile joke of yours?
No. Carry on World Cup podcast.
Yeah. How many colours are there in the South African flag?
Oh, that's a good question, because I don't think it's straightforward. Because there's all kinds of Rainbow Nation, isn't it? So there's all kinds of colours, I think. Not literally 9. No. I think 4. I think it's something like red, green, yellow, and black. So I'm going to go for 4.
You're not far away. You're not right, but you're not far away. The answer is 6.
Blue's in there, isn't it?
Blue, red, white, gold, green, and black.
Yeah. Damn. Close. But no cigar.
Close, but no pipe. So it's 1 out of 2. So this is to win it. This is the deciding question. How you doing? Well, which South African city is very well known for its gold mining? Which South African city is very well known for its gold mining?
Now, I would say, and I don't even know if it's a city, I'm getting Kimberley, but I don't even know that's South Africa.
That's just the name of the isn't it?
I'm going to say it's not Kimberley, is it? So what are they? Pretoria, Johannesburg. There's one I'm missing. I know there's one I'm missing, but I'm going to go say Kimberley because it's the only thing I can think of.
It's the wrong answer. It's the wrong answer. Oh, mate. The answer was Johannesburg.
Is it?
Yeah. You said it, but you didn't say it as your answer.
I didn't think that was. Kimberley, I don't think it's a city. To be
No,
honest.
not did I, to be honest. Right, okay, 1 out of 3, Ken, this week.
I thought I should have. I've left something on the table there. I think I should.
Yeah, you've done. Although your score was the same as last week, you've done better than you did last week. You were pretty close.
Yeah.
I hope you did better at home though, and we'll see how we get on next week with Kenny's quiz. Right, before we get on to deciding how South Africa are going to get on in the World Cup next year, let's have a very quick look at the. Actually, let's not do that. Ken, why don't you have a word from our sponsors?
Why don't we do that? Global Sports Podcast Network is partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements, because your body's unique. Without knowing what deficiencies you have, and believe me, Nick's got a few of them, taking off the shelf supplements mean that you're probably not getting enough of the nutrients you need. You're probably getting too many of the ones you don't need. Bioniq provides 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs, exactly the right levels to optimize your health. So click the link in the show notes, use the code GSPN 2025, not many days left to do that, get your 40% discount.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Welcome to the podcast, part of the Global Sports Podcast Network. We always welcome your news and your views and your thoughts and your opinions. So how to get in touch with us? You can email us at roadtoworldcup26@gmail.com. That's the best thing. We get emails from you. We do read them out. In fact, we need to do a little bit of that, don't we, Ken, soon?
Yeah, we do.
Bit of a post bag edition. So thanks to those of you who have sent in emails. We'll
do one next week, Nick. We'll do it because we've had a few.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll do a post bag next week. Finishing then with the look in South Africa is having a look at who's the manager. Who is the manager of South Africa? I hear you say, I don't know, Nick. Tell me. Well, I'm going to tell you. It's Hugo Broos.
Hugo Boss.
Not Hugo Boss, no. Hugo Broos. BROOS, in case you're wondering. 73 years old. He's a Belgian former professional football player and indeed a manager. He's been managing South Africa since 2021. His football career, he played at a high level. He played for Anderlecht in Belgium. He played 350 games for them.
What position was he?
That's a good question, actually.
I'm going to find out. You carry on.
Was he? I want to say defender, but I'm not sure. He also played 161 times for Club Bruges. As a player, he won the European Cup Winners' Cup twice. He was a runner-up once. He won the European Super Cup twice, and indeed won the UEFA Cup as well. So, highly decorated football player. Since going into management, he led Cameroon to the African Cup of Nations victory in 2017. And he's also managed, I think he did manage Ivory Coast. No, Morocco. He managed Morocco as well. And did a good job with them.
Can I just interject at this point?
Yeah, go.
And say two things. One, he was a defender.
I thought so. That's what I did say. Yeah.
And secondly, I've seen him play.
Have you?
Because he was in the Anderlecht team that played Wrexham in the European Cup Winners' Cup back in 1976.
Really? And
they beat us. An away goal.
They beat. Well, no great surprise there. No great surprise there. So anyway, I can't remember where I was. Yeah, so he's managed Cameroon. He did a good job with them. He's now manager of South Africa, and he's doing a very good job with them as well. So he's got plenty of pedigree, Ken.
Yes.
Plenty of pedigree.
He's been around. He knows the game, knows his players. Been with them for the last 4 years, and he's gone to the World Cup.
So good luck to Hugo and the South African lads. Question is, how are they going to get on? What are you thinking, Kenny?
I don't hold out huge hope. I'll be honest with you. Although we've now realised that of the 10 games that they played most recently, they haven't lost any because they were only Lesotho were awarded. And when they played Lesotho in the return game, they won 3-0 themselves. But I just think the standard competition is going to be too much for them. I don't think they haven't really got any standout players. They haven't similarly got a great deal of strength in depth. They haven't got a great World Cup pedigree. I think they're fodder. I'm afraid. I think they're fodder. I think they'll be the Southern Hemisphere's equivalent of Scotland.
Yeah, so not the worst team, but not a team that's really ever going to do great things.
No, they could actually be the worst team.
I was trying not to be so cruel.
They could. So so they're gonna get beaten in the semi-final. No, they're gonna get knocked out in the group stages, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'm afraid I've got them down for group stages as well. I think it's going to be very difficult to get out of the group. They might pick up a point here or there. I mean, look, they've qualified directly. Yeah, they may well be grouped with somebody who's coming in through the playoffs, a real minnow, in which case they can pick up 3 points. But to get out of the group stage, I think it's going to be very, very hard for them. So, yeah, group stages for me as well, my friend. Make a note.
Sounds about right. I'm going to make a note in our book, and we will one day we'll go through all these. We've got to redo the predictions, haven't we, when we know everybody who's there?
Exactly that.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question, because when I first wrote this list, the next one was going to be Qatar. But obviously, we've had a load of new entrants. So what I want you to do is give me a number between 31 and 38, because we're going to go there instead.
Okay, 36.
Croatia. We're going to Croatia next week.
Okay, should we do postbag next week or Croatia?
We'll do Croatia, and we'll have a question from the postbag as part of the episode, and we can start to do that because we've got a few.
Yeah, we'll dip in. Yeah, we'll dip into the bag. But please, get in touch with us, road to World Cup 26@gmail.com, and drop us a question. And we'd love to hear from you. Right, that brings an end then to this episode and brings the curtain down on a very exciting week of World Cup qualification. I think that whole qualification process now goes to sleep for a couple of months before all the playoffs kick off in and around March. But there's still plenty of things, Kenny, for you and I to do. Plenty of teams to look at. So,
yeah, there are. That's the 26th team we've covered. I reckon we've got another 14 now established that we can go at to take us up to the 40 mark. Excellent. So we're sorted, aren't we, for the next 2 or 3 months?
Certainly are. Well, thank you very much indeed for joining us on this edition. We hope to see you again next week. Have a great week wherever you are doing. Look after yourselves. Look after each other. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.